Hello again. I'm going to read you two diary extracts today of my journey through breast cancer and hope that you're still with me and following where I'm at. I'm going to start on the 26th of March 2009. I am too tired to write today, as an hour of writing yesterday, 2 appointments at the hospital and no sleep between those events have proved too much for me. So I'm going to leave you with something to think about. Don't die with your music still in you. I will be back tomorrow, all being well. 27th of March 2009. Well, here we are again at the cheesecake shop, the start of my very important day, keeping the wheels of business going. I hope you know I am being ironic, but this is the structure of my day whilst I am still trying to rebuild my life. I feel it was very careless of me not to notice someone last year stealing my life. How could I possibly have missed that? I thought I was on the ball, and I understand now that if you give someone a big enough shock, then follow that with a barrage of further unexpected twists and turns, possibly something life-threatening. MRSA would do it. You go into survival mode. The focus is on whatever medical problem you are currently dealing with this week, and your need and ability to care about what is happening in the wider echelons of your life and world disappears. So maybe that's how I missed the fact that my life was slipping away in front of me. Blink for a second and someone has nicked your life. Beware. How could I possibly have known that going into hospital for a much-awaited breast reduction would result in such a life-changing experience? I didn't. But within 18 hours of having had my operation, I was going to receive the biggest shock of my life. Thursday, 6th of December 2007, Operation Day. Friday, 7th December, let the battle commence. So it goes like this. Enter 3 complete strangers into my hospital side room with friendly nurse. Shut the door. I didn't recognise this as a bad sign at that point. I was new to this game, but soon became wise to this action over the coming months. Introduce yourself. Oncology surgeon, Mr. Mack. Use soft voice, concerned face, and tell me that my breast reduction had turned into breast cancer. 2 lumps in left breast, to be precise. Flash an X-ray of the offending enemy site in front of me. Didn't mean much to me at the time, I have got to admit. And tell me they will know more in 2 weeks' time when the results are back. Pause for breath. So this is how it happened, and you could have blown me down with a feather. The start of my life disappearing. Friendly nurse holds my hand as I sit stunned and shocked in the chair and ask if I'm going to die. They tell me to look out on the ward at the many women who have survived their breast cancer and are still alive and kicking 15-20 years later. I really wanted them to prove I had breast cancer by showing me the lumps. They had seen them, as he had been called into theatre unexpectedly on the Thursday afternoon when my plastic surgeon discovered the lumps, so why shouldn't I? They were mine, after all. I had cultivated and cared for them over the last few years, I guess, unbeknown to me, so why shouldn't I see them? I didn't ask, though. I was beginning not to like this man, sat on my hospital bed, telling me this awful story. Was I really meant to believe a pack of strangers telling me this huge story but giving me no proof? It was no small thing they were telling me, after all. It was very intimidating to be one defenceless target sat in front of 3 doom-mongers. This was the start of my becoming quite scared of this man, as 2 weeks later he was giving me more bad news, as I was told, due to not having 1 centimetre of clear tissue around the offending lumps, I was going to have a mastectomy. This was more of a breast reduction than I had originally planned. To put it mildly, I was upset. I began to think of this man as the Grim Reaper, and started to devise this strategy that if I avoided him in future, I couldn't be given any more bad news. I wasn't to know at this point that this man, that I saw as the enemy, was going to show me such kindness and concern some months later, and give me my greatest gift in the form of Nicky. Neither did I realise that my brain had gone into such a state of shock on that Friday morning that I totally blanked out the whole event. It wasn't until January 2009, when I was in the dressings clinic with the nurse who had held my hand on that fateful morning, and I was asking who Mr. Mac was, that I was told that I'd already met him. He was the one that had broken the news. So there you have it. My very clever body had done its best to protect me, and blanked out some memories as part of a coping strategy that I was not aware of, so that I could remain standing. And stand up I did. I was about to enter a battlefield where I was the only target, the enemy invisible, the minefield precarious, and the shots and blows persistent. But I would survive. Life as I knew it was about to stop now, at the end of January 2009. My emotions and my body were to part company, and I was beginning an out-of-body experience. This was not a conscious decision, it just happened. I went into survival mode. What else do you do in these situations? You either sink or swim, and there was no way I was going to sink. I didn't ask for this situation. We never do, do we? So I had to put best foot forward and wander through the wilderness that was becoming my life and dodge the bullets. In between the battles, my music on my MP3 kept me going. So the music played on and kept me company as my own music score disappeared over the year. So where are we with the quote I wrote you the other day? Where is your music? Are you going to die with your music still in you? When I started this story on the first night, my music score was empty. I realised when I woke up the next morning that it had one note on it. After I had done my ramblings on the 25th of March, there were 5 notes. Now I have the beginnings of a melody. I have no idea how this music will work out, what it will sound like, but perhaps it is the rhythm of a new life starting for me. And that's the end of the diary extract for today. I hope you've got something out of what I've written there, and I'll speak to you again another day.